And happy Tuesday. Welcome to our next show. This is Rombi Uncensored, and welcome to the show. I am so excited right now, and I just want to say to everyone, shout out. So we're going to be having this conversation. We're supposed to start today, but unfortunately, there were things that we're trying to fix. Everything is in order. Come through. I want us to have this conversation. It's, oh my God. Yeah. Very important conversation actually today, but before we move forward, discussing about ZANU PF, Lacoste and G40 joining forces to save Zimbabwe. To save Zimbabwe. And please guys, I would love and appreciate if you guys can share your thoughts. And be in mind, you need to be respectful. Here we don't fight here, we don't argue. We communicate, properly. And I just want to say, I've been really blessed having people who are super amazing. You guys are incredible. Your comments are top of the range. I'm really respectful and thankful for what you guys are doing. And like always, Nessa is here first, Moses is second. Good to see everybody. Don't forget to like the live as we move along, because it will help us for us to push algorithms so other people can come through and join in the conversation tonight. Tonight, I'm telling you, tonight, we can never have other time, and I'm so ready and prepared. Everything is sorted. Volume-wise, we are intact, so relax. While you're dropping your blue hearts, I'm going to be playing the song Tukuno Sangana Zimbabwe. We are ready for the battle. We are not playing games. We are meeting in Zimbabwe for celebrations. Words are powerful. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer that you create the life that you want. Your mouth. You know what? There's power in your tongue. What you say is what will always happen. Let's prepare so that we can meet in Zimbabwe. So guys, while we play other people joining us, we were meeting in Zimbabwe. Let's go. I'm so ready, y'all. Come on. Let's go, yo. Tell me if you can hear me properly, if the volume is perfect for those that are watching on TV. Come on. I am so ready, yo. It's good to see everybody. The devil is a liar. It's good to see everybody. Tell me if the volume is perfect by dropping your blue hearts, y'all. Come on, yo. Good to hear, yo. Right, Tukuno Sangana Zimbabwe. It's as simple as that. Tonight I'm coming prepared, yo. And no one is going to complain about volume because we have sorted that out, yo. It's sorted. So, yeah, here we are tonight. We're going to be having such an incredible conversation, yo. We started during the day and there was some fourth day and I said, okay, just hang in there. I'm coming back. But before we start, I wanted to introduce you to one of my brother. His name is Paul Rivers Williams. He's actually a TikTok sensation, a Zimbabwean who is very wise and incredible guy. You guys can follow him on TikTok if you want to. He's coming through to YouTube as well. I said to him, come over. We need to have a conversation. He's an incredible guy. Absolutely amazing. Wisdom Bank. Super amazing. He's talking about how Zimbabwe has lost quite a number of people because of the diaspora, diaspora immigrants Where are we today as a Zimbabwean community? I also love the fact that he said, if you want to shift, if you want to sort out Zimbabwe, thank you, Lucy, we need to do away with politics. And I've said to you, our political space is extremely, extremely toxic. Because, some people are just kind of manipulating the systems and get away with it all the time. It's time for us to say enough. Let's build a Zimbabwe that we all want. A brand Zimbabwe, a Zimbabwe for everybody is the goal. A Zimbabwe for everybody is definitely the goal. So let's take a listen to Paul before I proceed. Amazing, intelligent guy. Take a listen, please.
Dr. Chasi and our government, like, are we giving people who deserve to be in positions the position to do the jobs that need to be done? Two, just pile up to slide in another question on top of that one. Are we doing a good job as the government of Zimbabwe? Is the government of Zimbabwe doing a good job in communicating its ideas, its ideals, its vision to the people? Or it's just somewhere, but like you talk of like the American dream, you can talk of a white people, how to make it.
Can you guys hear properly?
So, to answer your first question on meritocracy, where are Zimbabwe's most competent people right now?
That was going to be my next question, but
the diaspora.
They're in the corporate sector.
All right.
Right? They are running businesses, they're CEOs, they're GMs, right? These are people with competent, proven track records, right? Some of them are in the international NGOs and so on and so on. How do we attract those people to government? How do we attract those people to run ministries, right? We cannot attract them by saying, join this particular party so that you have a chance at being permanent secretary. But we are leaving out the good brains outside because we're having to have people go through political processes to be able to have a shot at that. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you attract good talent? Is you remove the politics from the roles. That's number one. Okay? Number two, you pay them enough so that the position becomes attractive.
All right.
You pay them enough so that becoming a deputy minister of something is such an attractive thing for them to want to aspire to. But I don't have to become a deputy minister because then I have to go into politics. Because unfortunately for Zimbabwe, politics is dirty. So I don't want to go through dirty politics or campaign and so on to be able to get the position. So give them enough money, remove politics from the roles, and you're going to have some very clever people, competent people wanting to join government. If we do that, I don't know why we modeled our governance around politics and politics only, where if you're not part of the party, you have no shot at being the deputy minister.
Let's talk diaspora. How much competent people are we exporting to the diaspora, and how can those people invest back into the country?
So the diaspora is actually a big pain point for me personally, because we are exporting some of our best brains outside, and they don't have the potential to even realize that, because we're exporting them for bread and butter, and we're exporting them so that they can fix our, issues, bread and butter issues back home. So it's actually a huge pain point for me. And an actual overhaul of our politics can bring people back, because half the reason why people leave the country is not just economics and finance. I don't have a job. Some of it is this situation is not going to change, because people find opportunity when something changes and say, oh, okay, I want you to give you an example right now. If the government changes right now today, how many people in the diaspora will be like, oh, I can come back to Zimbabwe, even without a tangible opportunity? Things just look very gloomy for everybody that's leaving. I don't think anybody is really excited about, oh, I'm going to live and work in a low-paying job somewhere in the country so that I can take care of my parents back home. That's not exciting for us. It's not something that anybody wants to do, but we have to do it. There are many opportunities in Zimbabwe, and just to answer your question, the government communication, there are many opportunities in Zimbabwe outside of farming, many opportunities in mining. That's why you've got all these people coming into the country. There are opportunities in them, but as long as they're not being communicated, and government isn't taking the first step in helping those people. I think there was a group of diasporans that tried to buy the NRZ at some point. These are competent Zimbabweans with capital that want to buy one of our long, forlorn state enterprises and turn it into something profitable because they can see the profit, right? And that deal did not happen because of somebody. So,
Of course,
you know,
politicians.
because of our politics. So, yeah.
And what books are you currently reading right now?
You can hear politicians are the problem in the country. And I mean, we have seen it. We have witnessed it this past year, how they turn the whole country into a mess. Politicians. And I agree, it's time for us to do away with this politics nonsense and begin to build the country. And I also love the fact that he spoke about the issue of Team Zimbabwe. I agree with him, 150%. We need to do away with the politics. Honestly, I don't blame why Chamisa resigned. The people are contaminated, they're broken, they're greedy.
Project completely. Let's remove politicians and politics away from Brand Zimbabwe. Brand Zimbabwe, ultimately, at the end of the day, is owned by citizens. It's owned by the people that actually live in the country. And we're selling our culture. Let's remove politics from it. Have a completely different board, not controlled by politicians, not affiliated in any way, and say, we are citizens, and now, first thing, let's build Brand Zimbabwe from there. That's the first thing that I would do.
Involved in this project.
100% Brand Zimbabwe. I support that idea very well. We do not want this war politics. It's a really, really just a mess. I feel like ZANU-PF is using politics just to play Zimbabweans. For decades, honestly, guys, in and out of elections, drama all the time, no change, more problems, more hatred. As a matter of fact, if there ever be any space where there is hatred, it's in politics. People are being hurt, abducted, tortured, some are being killed because of politics. No, which means it doesn't work. It's not a solution to the country. Let's build a Zimbabwe for everyone by pulling out all these politicians. As a matter of fact, people that are ministers, majority of them have no clue of what they're doing. They do not even have a clue of what they're doing. We can see by their results. Some may argue and say, no, but there's no funds. But you can say, guys, if there's no money, I don't think I can carry on doing this job. I'm out. But we always see you guys being fired. We have never seen any minister who says, I resigned on my own. Majority are just being removed. Why are you still stuck in a place where you know that you're unhappy? You know what I mean? But you're stuck there because you want to loot. You want to steal. If you know that you can't, you're not happy at doing a job, why are you still there? I've never heard when they said, no, this minister resigned. They said, no, I want to resign because I can't stand. There's no money for me to do my job. You know, I can't get the support that I need. I'm unhappy in this place. Unfortunately, I have to resign. I've never heard. But you know what? We always hear people say they're being removed, stuck there. Some even fight to keep those positions. Why? Because of looting. Why are people keep on supporting wrong when either it's a politician or any individual does wrong in the country? We are looking at Mr. Chivayo now was doing the nonsense in the country. Why can people rebuke him? Where is the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission? Where are they? Our politics is a problem. And I remember Naledi Pendo, you know Naledi Pendo, the woman that was actually leading, the case between South Africa and the ICJ. She said now Zimbabwe is a problem because their politics is not right. She made it very clear. These are South Africans watching. Their politics is not right. That's why nothing works. And nothing works as long as the politics is not right. And my brother always sings that song every time. That is Alinaka. Every time. Nothing works when the politics is not right. Now, they are talking, decided they may employ Starlink. We're just watching. Before they said it was not approved, but because of the outcry, this is why I'm saying your conversations are very important. Never take that lightly. They really, really take your conversation and your contribution serious. They are now considering, they may consider a Starlink, we don't know yet. This just Sheikh who said the government is working on it. We may have a Starlink. I can't wait for us to have Starlink, honestly. I really, really cannot wait having that because we all know Starlink is the best. For those that are using it, it's really working perfectly, you know. And I know people that can supply it, but like I said, we can't now, they cannot until it's authorized in the country. You can't supply it, unfortunately. And we all know what we spoke about during the day that Zimbabwe used to be spectacular. I mean, how many planes we had in the country? You can't count. From Harare to Mulawi, we had like 50 planes. But now, how many are we having? There were so many airports around the country. Where are they? I actually had one of my friends from Honde Valley saying He said to me that there was an airport where people actually sold the land where there is an airport to build. I mean, because, you know, the land barons, you know, the illegal land barons dudes that are selling the land illegally, those dudes, yes, because I don't have no brain. It's just like because I belong to a certain political party, I can do as I please. And I always have that covering. Wrong. And those people should be arrested. Now, Shadiah said ours isn't an ordinary poverty, but a poverty of the mind. There's some people who will be ululating, groveling, and screaming in the comment section of Papa Peppa Pig, dishing out toys to the intellectually disabled and morally corrupt artists, is referring to Chivayo, are the very same people also complaining about being in the darkness due to ever-present load shedding. Such cognitive dissonance is alarming. They fail to realize their sugar daddy is also responsible for what has become their daily problem. We deserve everything we are facing. We are too stupid. We learn or we perish. I support his submissions. We Zimbabweans are being treated the way we want to be treated. In other countries, this can never happen. But you know why? Because they've tampered with our minds. And we are afraid to speak truth to power. We are afraid to do what's right. But if we were not afraid, we won't be in this mess. And when I say the problem is everything's political. And now, Miss Red once said this, I didn't understand, but now it makes sense. He said the problem of Zimbabweans, we politicize everything. She was right. We don't know how to communicate without dropping politics into the situation. And also politicians, especially ZANU-PF, you act as if you're owning Zimbabwe or people owe you something. If a minister is not doing their job, we never say we hate you as a brother. We said the minister is not doing his job. Whether he belongs to CCC or he belongs to ZANU-PF, he isn't doing his job properly. If we say someone is corrupt, we never say you're a bad person. A corrupt is an action. It's a behavior that a person can drop, can change. But you always take everything personal. It has to boil down to a political party. That is a problem. It is a problem, honestly. It's a problem. So Anisu said Zimbabwe is in high poverty and thieves are showing off the money they are washing. You saw Chivayo, you know, he was displaying, he said it's about $4 million US. You saw it, it's not in the bank, just outside there in his house. Say, see the amount of money that I have. Again, I'm going to ask you, where is Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission? When people are acting the way that they do, but you know why? As long as they've got a cover from a politician, they do as they please. Because there are no laws that can protect or that can actually annihilate the right people. You just need to belong to a certain group and you can get away with murder. How many people were caught corrupt people? I'm going to talk about Wajgajena. Wajgajena was accused of looting 5 million that was supposed to be given to the poor. The Kotko farmers' money was looted, $5 million US allegedly. He was arrested. That was it. He went out of prison. We never heard about the story again. How many stories that came on the surface and before you know it, they just vanished? You have to belong to a certain group in order for you to get away with murder. It is sad. But the time will come where people are going to be answerable. The time will come. We're talking about that food security is a problem in the country while other people are just splashing money, buying cars and give whoever they want, anytime, any day, and any minute. Now, the business of the day is what we're going to be looking at right now. This one here, I'm passionate about it for my personal reasons. Lacoste and G40, we know the history, all right? They were literally together, you know, having their drama with things on PF, then factions came into play. And we saw what happened in 2017. The G40 were booted out and Lacoste took over, all right? Even some of the people that were also part of the G40 pretended like they were not. Because you can't tell me that only the people that are overseas or those people that are in exile are the only people. Are you telling me they are the only people who were corrupt? Because I remember in 2017 when the Lacoste took over, they said we are chasing away thieves, remember? But no. It seems like the thieves remained. Although not to say there were no thieves in the G40, but I'm saying, I wouldn't know. But my point is, we still have corruption today. So how are you chasing away thieves when we still have thieves in the country as we speak? And now there are speculations that they're coming back. These ones hasn't given up. The G40 hasn't given up. I think they are working with other people who are also disgruntled within the ZANU-PF, which is the ZANU-PF Lacoste. They're working together. I don't know what to do, and maybe to stop the third wave, or to topple the current, I don't know, government, because I remember I told you Jealous Maware said that, he said that when somebody was talking about the issue of the third term, remember when Themba Mliso was actually rebuking Machakaire and said, Machakaire, you're too young. Stop supporting this third term mantra. It doesn't work. Let the president rest. Let's focus on build the country. The country is in shambles. And then Maware responded and said, no, they can talk about the third term, that if they don't even need to discuss about the third term. They must talk about the current term if the incumbent can, if he's going to finish this term here that we're in. That was Jealous Maware saying so. Again, factions within ZANU-PF. Today I saw Ruteno Matinyarare being, she's now being sued by INSCO. He was talking very ugly things about them. To my surprise, Herald reported that Ruteno Matinyarare is being sued by INSCO. And I'm asking myself, and now they're not only saying Ruteno Matinyarare, they are saying to him that he's actually a social media activist. The last time I checked, he has been representing ZANU-PF robustly, but all of a sudden, he's becoming a social media activist, which means that he has already lost his place. And you heard him, how he has been saying 99% of sanctions are gone. But the president is saying sanctions are still there. He's not buying it. You also heard, I saw this evening, when there were, someone tweeted and say the fight between the president, these are simply allegations, the president and Mutangwa, actually the fight is intensifying. That's what he said. That was German putting out that tweet like 20 minutes ago. And I wanted to remind you the tweet that was sent out by Saviour Kasukure. He said, Kana ngoma yorira, mese muchainzwa. Get this right. I don't play with words. I take words very seriously. I guess that's why I've been played by many, many times, because when a man says, I love you, I believe him. You know what I mean? I believe him. So whether he's messing me up, that's his problem. But when he says he loves me, I'm like, I believe you. Because I don't take words lightly. You know what I mean? So he said, Kana ngoma yorira mese muchainzwa. Wait patiently for the Saviour. Kana ngoma yorira mese muchainzwa. Wait patiently for the Saviour. Don't take words lightly. Kana ngoma yorira mese muchainzwa. Wait patiently for the Saviour. So if you go on Twitter, there is a Twitter page that is written, it's actually the name is The Return of Kasukwere. It's there on Twitter right now. If you go on X, and that time like Saviour Kasukure was playing a ngoma, kuti kana ngoma yarira muchainzwa, waiting for me to come and save you from this mess. Waiting for the Saviour. If you go there, it's actually a very funny picture, really funny. Like, I mean, these are my brothers that I respect. Really funny picture. But you are saying, kana ngoma yorira yao muchainzwa. Wait for the Saviour so that can save you from this mess. But here's the thing. When Saviour came through last year, he was very clear. He had people in Zimbabwe, within ZANU-PF. Some of them were Jim Kunaka. Remember, Jim Kunaka, he went back into ZANU-PF. By the way, there was a number of people who were in G40 who went back to Lacoste last year, and they were like, they're apologizing. They made so many mistakes and they are back into their house. I'm like, aren't they there to infiltrate? Let me drink more water, please, because that's the politics that you created in Zimbabwe. Excuse me. Were they not infiltrating? Excuse me. Like I said, it's, when you created these politics, it's not me. It's your toxic politics. It's not me. And here we are. But one thing I want to tell you, because we're going to be listening to Professor Atham Tambara, because as far as I know, what he said last year, but again, Saviour to respond, he said we must never be robbed into ZANU-PF's factions. We must really be very careful, because they always have factions in between, and then you buy into it, you think you're going to be free. Yes, you move like the way we moved in 2017 from the pot into the fire. We thought finally the freedom we wanted is here. This is why I want us to have this conversation, because the moment you start seeing people throwing such kind of statements, they mean business. They're not playing. They mean business. And we must never take it lightly. Because this morning I heard that if you guys can fail, that was actually the, the chief communication, representative for Kasukure. He wrote this morning on Twitter. He said, if you guys can fail to topple ZANU-PF at its weakest, what will happen when ZANU-PF, Lacoste and G40, would join forces against this third term, against what's going on right now in the next few months? This is what he said. Like I said, I don't take words lightly. I take words, I take them very seriously. And what are you going to do now that you are failing to remove them at their weakest? Now when they're stronger, that's what they're saying, they're stronger. I don't know how strong they're going to be. What are you going to do? Are you going to remove them if you're failing them at their weakest? Because very soon, he said, in a few months, they will come together stronger. And to do what? To do what? If you can't defeat ZANU-PF at its weakest, what will happen when? Remember, this is not if, it's when, which means it's just a matter of time. Don't take words lightly. When they close rank, get this, and come together in the next few months. Immediately I was like, now, we need to have a conversation. We can have another coup while it's like it's a joke. We can come and be slept with another coup. Yeah, we better have a conversation and be prepared, because I can only remember what happened in 2017. I don't think I'm willing to go through another drama again. I want to make sure my eyes are open, my ears are wide, and I have literally go through a lot of pondering. Am I going to be in a position to go through what I've been through again? I cannot stand. I've been through the most. This is what he said. And I responded to him. I said, on a free and fair election, they will still lose. And that's a fact. It's the trust that is broken. They can change for the heavens. Our hearts are beyond repair. That was me responding to him. All I was just saying is Zimbabweans have lost trust in ZANU-PF, whether it's Lacoste, whether it's G40, whether it's Hallelujah, whether it's going to say we have reformed. They can say, no, we passed 25 days, we are clean. Not again. Not again. That's ZANU-PF that we have been with for decades, that causes us so much pain. No, for me, no. I don't know other people, if they want to accept it, I'm not going to accept it. I'm adamant on that. But, and again, I'm also still a firm believer who believes, a person who believes in principles. What do I mean by that? We had an election that was completely messed up, and you saw it. Reports are there. We witnessed everything that happened on election day. We saw what happened immediately after elections. And besides, I've told you that prior to elections, I remember speaking to someone, and that person told me that at that time they said, no, do you know that Washmengwe wanted to start their own political party? And that was before elections, remember? And then we got elections, then all these shenanigans began to unravel. So I'm asking myself, I'm like, how did they know? So it means the games has always been there. Why trying to topple Nelson Chamisa? Because Nelson Chamisa is the strongest person in this political space. He's strong, he's loved by the people. I'm a firm believer that principles can never be broken. And once they are broken, nothing works. You cannot block Nelson Chamisa for your personal, for your own personal entrance. And I'm not, whatever they're trying to do, whoever it is, whatever games they're trying to play, because I can see 24/7 people are trying to tint Nelson Chamisa with a black brush. The tweet that are being sent out is told that he's the weakest person in politics. He's not like Changirai. I've seen that. There was a question that he was asked, give us his resume. There was also a tweet that was being circulating that he's actually an advocate for President Emerson Mnangagwa. He's attorney. But I said to myself, under normal circumstances, being someone's lawyer, being a politician is another thing. Nelson Chamisa is an advocate. So him being an advocate and then him also being a politician are two different things. We can't say to him, stop working with people from ZANU-PF. No, he's an advocate. He knows how to be professional, how to separate the two. But the moment you start seeing people trying to throw some ugly things so that you guys can think, oh, Nelson Chamisa is a bad person. They've got an agenda. But truth be spoken, that it will never work because Zimbabweans want Nelson Chamisa. It's sin. Even after all this yellow thing was contaminated again, it was a game. You see people following the blue that he never endorsed yet. You know, although people that are working on it, they're saying, no, we are together. It's the politics of dirty politics that they're playing. We are playing the same. But you have seen people already buying blue. Some have painted their house blue. For the likes of Mazibabe Shanduko, he changed the color from yellow to blue. What a committed individual. Why? Because he knows what's going on in the background. All I'm just trying to tell you is, whatever games people are trying to play of Chamisa, it will not work. Not in this era. Gone are the days where you can play your games and get to the front. No, not anymore. And then I said, any politician that wants to that deserves respect in Zimbabwe should be a politician that has character. Because we are where we are today because of deception, backbiting, malice, lies, betrayal. So if you want people to trust you in Zimbabwe, you must make sure that your politics is clean. Betrayal, it doesn't work anymore. Deception, it does not work anymore. The games, the dirty politics, it doesn't work in this era anymore. Then, when we were stupid, but now we are wiser. We know. And what we want is a leader that have love for the people. And I've always said, in any leader think that they can wiggle their way to the front without having that relationship with the people, that's cancerous. Have the following, have a relationship with the people because you're going to be serving the people. You're not serving animals, you're going to be leading people. If you can't understand that, then something is wrong. But you know what, like I said to you, I have so much respect with Professor Adam Tambara. He made it clear that there is no, you can't be a leader in Zimbabwe without being in a position of actually respecting a free, fair, and credible election. You can't. Without that, there is no politics in Zimbabwe. And we will never have good leaders. We need a free, fair, and you know what? An incredible election. Take a listen to Professor Tambara, please.
So there's some people who are saying there's likely to be a GNU after this election. There are people of faith, the church, that have said, let's have a sabbatical to allow us to fix the country, the problems that you have just highlighted right now. Well, where do you stand as far as those two? There's been talk of a transitional arrangement mechanism. Where do you fall as far as those are concerned, particularly the possibility, the talk that there might be a GNU?
The starting point for me, the bottom line, the non-reducible minimum is having a free and fair election. Once we do that, the winner, in their wisdom, can then reach out to the losers and say, in the interest of the Team Zimbabwe approach, come, let us work together in an arrangement that is national, but on the basis and the foundation of a free and fair election. If Nelson Chamisa and Triple C win, the same prescription for me is to reach out on the other side and set up a Team Zimbabwe approach. If Emerson Mnangagwa and ZANU do win, I would urge them to do the same. A Team Zimbabwe approach, a team of rivals, but on a foundation of a credible, free and fair election. Sabbatical, no, we can't do that. It's unconstitutional. We have a constitution that says every 5 years we go to elections. We must do that. Unless and until we change the constitution to provide for a sabbatical. A sabbatical is unconstitutional and not practical anyway. The protagonists will not allow that. Yeah. So I'm not a daydreamer.
Yeah.
I'm a practical, Zimbabwean. The most important thing we can do for this country is enabling the holding of free, fair, and credible elections. And once that is done, we then say, in the national interest, why don't you work together and put a Team Zimbabwe? What Robert Mugabe did, actually, of course, he was a Machiavellian player, he had other visions, but in 1980, he was much smarter than Emerson Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa, for example, I understand very clearly why people like you were supported the coup, and you are not wrong. The idea was that if Emerson Mnangagwa was clever, if he had 10% of Mugabe's intelligence, he'd have used that moment of the coup to do a Team Zimbabwe approach. Not so much for Zimbabwe, for himself. But he was blind, deaf, and dumb, and missed the moment. Because Mugabe won 57 out of 8.
Yeah.
He could have gone alone without Ngoma, without Smith, and set up his own government, but he realized that it was a Zimbabwean moment. There was so much goodwill in the world. So what do? I reach out to Zapu and Ngoma, I reach out to Smith, and I put together a Team Zimbabwe. For purely selfish reasons, because after 3 years he was doing Gukura Undi and Chasing Smith, but strategically or tactically, in the first 2 years, he was able to put that together. Mnangagwa would have done the same, just for 2 years.
Why did you think it?
Because he's not clever.
Okay.
And don't tell me the soldiers would not have allowed it. A clever leader will tell the coup plotters, you guys, you've carried out a coup d'etat. You want me to be your civilian leader? These are my conditions. If you don't want these conditions, go and be a president.
Because Prof, allow me to jump in.
Sure.
It was until Chinamasa stood up and said, if you think this is for you, meaning all of us who were, supporting the coup, all those thousands that are in there, you're fooling yourself. This is a ZANU PF thing.
And a clever guy would have said, shut up, Chinamasa. I have a plan. I'm the leader. You are an ignoramus. Shut up. That's what a clever leader, a strong leader would have done. Do you think when Mugabe put General Wars in charge of the government, these other guys were, okay? When he put in Dennis Norman and Anderson into cabinet, do you think there were no ZANU guys wanted those positions? When he brought in Ngoma to be Minister of Home Affairs, a leader tells his supporters, I'm the leader, I have the vision.
You're right.
So I'm saying, a clever Mnangagwa who is strategic would have told Chinamasa to shut up. And by the way, when I proposed this, it was not so much for Zimbabwe, for Mnangagwa's own legacy.
I wanted to barge in there to essentially to support your point. If you recall, Nelson Mandela, after the assassination of Chris Hani at FNB Stadium, Nelson Mandela stood because you remember people were angry that let's go and find out whoever killed Chris Hani. Nelson Mandela stood up and people booed him. And he said, if you continue booing me, I'm going to sit down. Then it means I'm not your leader. But if I'm your leader, you'll keep quiet and listen to me. The stadium went quiet.
That's leadership.
And then he stood up and said, we will not revenge.
Leadership is about making unpopular decisions popular. Leadership is not about following the wind. You can see 97% of the people going this way. A leader says, no, you are all wrong. It's this way. Challenging.
Risking being unpopular.
Yes, that's leadership. And they'll take you later. Right now, I'm sure they thank Mandela for that position.
Of course. Prof, I'm going to hold you there.
I think you can hear how many Zimbabweans are pushing on an issue of Team Zimbabwe. A lot. Now my question is, who is actually blocking the idea? And what is the agenda? Because it seems like every Zimbabwean is saying, we are sick and tired. We want a Team Zimbabwe, which means these politicians are messing us up. So my question is, who is blocking the idea of building a Zimbabwe that is good for everybody? That should be the question. Like I've been asking, I'm asking honestly, like if there is the army, people saying the army did the coup, whatever the case may be. So what was that coup for? If I may ask, what was it for if it's not benefiting the people? Because the last time I checked some of the coups I've been watching or looking at different countries, those coups were there to benefit the people. I was looking at that Burkina Faso coup for that young man, 35-year-old. They are there with the people, for the people. So my question is, if everyone is unhappy, like most Zimbabweans unhappy, they can see people leaving the country is dilapidating. Hospitals don't have medication. We don't have electricity. There is no clean water. My question is, so what was the coup for? It was for what? Why did we went to the streets? Remember about people taking pictures with the army? There's a picture circulating of Fazema taking pictures with the army. That day, like the army were like the gods, you know what I'm saying? What was that for? For what? Because if people are not happy. Okay, all right. The army, my brothers and my sisters, do you also see that people are unhappy in the country? I have relatives that are in the army. I don't see anything that they have that I can say is something fancy. So this was for who? I can see people complaining everywhere. I'm saying it was for who? To benefit who? It makes sense, but I also remember the president's speech. When he says, I was like, oh. On the day of the coup, his speech, it was not even supposed to talk about ZANU-PF. It was supposed to talk about Zimbabwe as a whole, the entire country. So, was it for ZANU-PF? I'm not surprised when there's always, ZANU-PF doesn't understand that apart from dirty politics, there are principles that govern life. You really can't sow evil and expect good to come out. It doesn't work. That's why even those that support wrong, most of them, they have to be chucked out, one way or the other. Because you keep sowing evil and thinking that good will follow you, it doesn't work. Any person who's supporting wrong, your day is coming. So a wise person won't support wrong, rather say, no, this is not right. Can we do things differently? Can we respect each other? Can we love everybody? I hate it when people say opposition party. Someone was like, no, they've got a problem, said that they don't want any opposition to lead the country. I was like, there's no opposition in Zimbabwe. It's simply an alternative leader. It's not like this. People are Chamisa or Kasukire or whoever may be trying to vie for the same position is coming from us. They are Zimbabweans. They grew up in Zimbabwe. So they can't be opposition. They must be called brothers and sisters, an alternative leader. A leader that just doesn't have to belong to ZANU-PF to become a leader. No. You have to have the qualities of leading people. This is why we always suffering, because people are hiding behind a political party. You are a minister, you are singing, dancing, you think that should take you to the ministry. It's wrong. You must have the qualities of leadership. You must have understanding of whichever department you're going to lead. Otherwise, what are you doing? It's not a school. I remember Sheikh was having an interview with Dara, actually, for HSTV. And he said, no, the president don't really appoint people that are educated in that department. He just appoints people that he thinks have potential. It's not a training ground, yeah. When you are being appointed as a minister, we want to see you work. There's a difference. You are not going there to say, no, please, let me just start and I need to learn. No. Then you rather be a deputy, maybe, and then you learn like what Mnangagwa is doing, David, under the leadership of Ngube. I'm just saying, then you be a deputy, but you can't be a minister when you have no knowledge and say, I want to learn. You want to learn in a country that actually needs to be served. You want to learn? No, it doesn't work like that. And I still say Team Zimbabwe has to come. And I can see the direction where we are going now. It's about time that we really have a team that is there to do the work and save our country. Because everyone is complaining that things are not moving. Things are not working well. People are unhappy. It's a fact. Why are we lying? Zimbabweans are unhappy. You can see it. Poverty everywhere. Let's employ the right people who can do the job and fix the country. I do remember one of my friends saying, I don't have a problem. And actually, that was a tweet he sent out. He said he doesn't have a problem if the president can even hire, or the government can hire whoever and pay them maybe $100 million to just come and fix the country. He said he doesn't mind. Because as it stands right now, no, guys, no. Can you even understand what is going on? Do you understand the vision that is going on there? I ask people every time and said, can you see where we are going? The future is bleak for me. Not for me, the future is bleak. I don't even have a clue of what is going on. I'm trying to understand where to from here. Nothing. It's just a believers. No, we don't just believe. We need to see things happening. But you no, believers. Time is moving. Some of us, our days are numbered. Everyone's days are numbered. We are all going to be going to heaven soon. Time is moving. We want to see solutions. We want to see work being done. If you look at Harare today, Jesus help me, Lord. That Harare once been a beautiful town. You were moving around and you could feel the breeze of success. Today, tomatoes, shibage, gocha. You know what I'm saying? Which is not a bad thing, but not in town. Not in town now. Something has to be done. We need to employ the right people to do the job. Outside of politics, enough. Every time we do an election, it's a season for people to actually be able to benefit. You call them, they're selling the struggle. Why are they selling? Because they don't care anymore. People don't care anymore. As long as I can get something, the rest of the people, do I care? No, I don't care. As long as fair play. I don't care about the next person. Really very, very sad. Very sad. One of some of the steps that would have been taken after the coup is what Ms. Samtambara is going to be addressing right now. Because guys, I just want us to be happy. I just want us, like, you know, guys, who doesn't want to move in town? Imagine when the roads are clean, everything's, we are driving your car. I always tell you that, over the weekend you're driving to go see your parents. Zimbabwe is a small country. Over the weekend you're driving, the roads are smooth. But how many accidents? Every time, the potholes. The Minister of Transport, again, I've told you, sometimes we need to be honest with one another. Are these people really qualified to do the job? Where is the Minister of Transport? Let me explain to you why I say that. Minister of Transport was not supposed to prioritize Mbudzi project when the roads were not fixed. That was like the last thing. Sir, Your Excellency, the minister, and we are saying this is a fact. Was Mbudzi a priority? No. Now you're saying you don't have funds to finish it. So why didn't you invest the money that 40 million you mentioned in other projects like fixing the roads and then come back to Mbudzi? It wasn't a priority because we've been sitting with Mbudzi for decades. Remember that Mbudzi has been working for decades. I know you're saying too much traffic, but it has been working for decades, which means it wasn't a priority. We could have try fix the roads and then we can come back to try and now looking for this glamour stuff. Because to me, Mbudzi is not the road, it's simply an intersection. But here we are. And while I'm still on the Mbudzi part, do you remember when Mbudzi started, this project started, you saw Passion Java there with a helmet. Do you remember with a helmet and a reflector? That Passion Java came in the country, he did, they say that he bought 2 ambulances. Did you see people worshipping him right now, like at the airport? Robert Mugabe, you see people, nurses came there, like, guys, are we still okay? Like, people, are they mentally okay? Like, honestly, are they mentally okay? That the whole people could come there to dance for a person because he bought 2 ambulances. But he was part of the Mbudzi project where the money was, I saw him, he was lingering there and saying, you know what? We are building and talking all manner of things, talking a good game. And before you know it, the project there's no money. So, and there's a prediction. They were saying that no, we just want to give you kind of, a time frame. We may be done by July, if I'm not mistaken. And which I'm saying, if they will be done if they can finish Mbudzi by July, I'm going to join ZANU-PF. I will join ZANU-PF if that project can be finished by July. But that's what the minister said, and I heard many people saying the same thing. Unbelievable. What was dancing for Java for? Because Java was, what happened to the project? Take a listen to Professor, please.
Opportunity for change. There was so much goodwill in the country in Zimbabwe, so much goodwill in SADC, so much goodwill in the continent and globally. after the departure of Mugabe, which goodwill was squandered by lack of intelligence, by lack of strategic thinking. A different leader in 2017 could have created an opportunity of delinking with the past. So I am very clear that there was an opportunity because it was a Zimbabwean moment, not a ZANU-PF moment.
Not an individual moment.
Not at all. But however, there was lack of leadership on the part of those who were propelled into power by the coup d'etat. In particular, as we've discussed earlier on, Emerson Mnangagwa.
Tell me, having been close to Emerson Mnangagwa as Deputy Prime Minister, having seen the man, are you surprised that things have turned the way they did, particularly given the fact that you're saying there was an opportunity which was missed? And some of us thought he will realize that there's an opportunity, but he didn't. Are you surprised that he didn't see the opportunity?
With hindsight, I'm not surprised because the ability is very minimal there. The competence is very minimal there. He's not a very able man. In fact, in many fronts, there's one, the failure to take advantage of the opportunity presented as the coup, and the issue of ethnicity and tribalism. You know, people don't like this, tribalism. We went through the Zulu tribalism in this country for 37 years, where Juru and Mugabe were running this as the Zulu hegemony. You'd expect someone coming in to do something different. We also went through Gukurahundi anyway, forget that. So you'd expect a leader who learns from history to say, this is a no-no, we don't do that. What we get from this guy, he's worse than Mugabe in terms of tribalism. It's actually clansmanship, family, Karanga hegemony in this country. Given all we know about the history of the liberation struggle, Chitepo's death, Gukurahundi, and Mugabe's Zulu hegemony, you'd expect a leader who's able to learn to say, we don't do this. Let's build a nation.
Yeah.
So I'm very disappointed by the lack of capacity to learn from history, the lack of strategic thinking, the economy. Look at the economy, you know, the state of our infrastructure, the state of our politics. I would expect someone to say, look, why don't I leave Zimbabwe?
And you expected that you would do that, isn't it?
I thought, you know, if I was coming in after Mugabe, I want to leave a legacy of the rule of law.
Legacy.
I want to leave a legacy of constitutionalism. I want to leave a legacy of a prosperous nation. Because, I mean, liberation was done by Mugabe and Ngoma, done. So my legacy would be around the law, around the economy, around a nation as opposed to ethnicity. But again, it's not happening. And I put it to a lack of vision and an understanding of the importance of legacy. What will I be known for when I'm born?
Right.
But there's not been capacity to do that.
Yes.
You say about...
and also insecurity. You know, when I look at Mnangagwa, he has no confidence because he has done nothing. Mugabe would say, I had 5 degrees, I brought independence, I'm the founding father of this nation together with Ngoma, and I gave you land. That gives you confidence. This guy has 0. And that's why he's so insecure and so authoritarian and using strong arm tactics because of insecurity by virtue of having no contribution. But this is why I thought you could then work on contributions.
Exactly. My point exactly. So my point, Prof, when he came in, that's exactly where you are. This man must realize what Robert Mugabe did wrong. This man must want to leave a legacy. Yes. Particularly Gukurahundi. He was involved. You know, he was not standing by. Mnangagwa was involved in Gukurahundi. So
a key proponent, key player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's now in charge. Why don't you come first day you apologize?
Apologize.
Restitution by the victims and the survivors in that cancer. But he misses the opportunity. Anyway, in the book you say, you made me laugh. You're trying to see President Mugabe. You've made an appointment. You've been told you can come and see the man. And you're being stopped downstairs. And you're like, why am I being stopped downstairs? You then say to Mugabe, when you got in, that you're being stopped. And they say, Robert Mugabe said, oh, those two are just overzealous and insecure handlers. They fear your growing influence and impact. And those two were Chiwenga and Mnangagwa. Talk to me about that.
You see, these plotters have been plotting for a long time. Every time you get close to Mugabe, they were worried about that because they were thinking succession. So, although I was an outsider, just the fact that Mugabe had respect for me, had time for me, worried these people. To the extent that Mnangagwa tried to stop a meeting, an official meeting that Mugabe had called, by asking security people to stop, and I had to use, brute force to just push the security guy. I could have been shot and got in. And Mugabe laughed about it. He said, look, these are sycophants. They are worried about you getting close to me because they think influence comes from closeness. And so you find that they were manipulating the old man by access, limiting access from people. So Mugabe was very contemptuous of these people. And but of course, I think he overstayed his welcome, and then they outplayed him. But he was never impressed by them. And
Do you think...
Hold on. Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound familiar in this era that we're in now? Do you remember that Chamisa wanted to have a conversation with President Emmerson Mnangagwa? Do you remember? And hardliners blocked him to have a conversation with the President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Does that sound familiar to you? And this is why I'm saying I don't understand what's going on in ZANU-PF. That's why I don't trust people there. Unfortunately, I'm not trusting them because their actions are stupid. Chamisa wanted to have a conversation with President Emmerson Mnangagwa. And I've been saying this a million times. I don't think President Emmerson Mnangagwa don't want to talk to Chamisa. But I think hardliners, overzealous individuals, gatekeepers are blocking because they have a hidden agenda, hoping that maybe one day they will be president of the country. Not again. Not again. We are wiser. Yeah, we are wiser. Chaka changes and the chaka tanga. We are wiser. Not again. We want free, fair, credible election to choose a leader. If you think that you're going to take an advantage of this and cut to mess, it's not going to work. Free, fair, and a credible election to have a leader. Don't forget, the statement is saying now that he was blocked. This story is in his book. It's called In Search of Zimbabwean Dream. So that's why he literally had to paint a picture of what truly happened in the journey of Mugabe. Because remember, Mugabe didn't have no biography or nothing. So Mutambara is literally writing on his behalf, telling people what was in the mind of him because they could spend time together talking about Zimbabwe in many ways and how people were behaving, what they were saying. And he wrote that book, In Search of Zimbabwean Dream, incredible book. You guys can also get your hands on it and actually bless yourself. You're actually going to see, to hear a lot of very, very, very serious issues there. No, he's a good writer, but I have respect for him for always at least educate us and inform us because, the history of Zimbabwe has been tampered with. A lot of lies, manipulation, you can't believe. Yesterday you heard South Africa saying, no, we were never helped by ZANU-PF, like they're claiming they did. They said, no, they did not help us. So you can hear people have been plotting. Now, I think right now as we speak, that's why I said we need to have this conversation because I don't want us to fall victims of what you can hear, what happened then. We don't want to be played, time of being played like children is past. We need black and white stuff. Tell us where to, who are you, what's your story, your resume. So we will decide the kind of leader we want in the country, not to be pushing people forward, and we must be a generation of pain. We are sick and tired of pain. Not again. So this plotting, backbiting, deception, malice, you call it, you name it, dirty politics, that has to end. In this era, it must end because Zimbabweans are tired. Are really tired. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's the hardliners that are blocking Chamisa to speak to President Emmerson Mnangagwa. You heard when Newsday reported that hardliners are blocking Chamisa to have a conversation with President Emmerson Mnangagwa. When he was saying, I'm reaching out, let's talk. How can we fix this country? And they're blocking because they have intentions. He's telling you that he was also blocked. He's alleging that he was blocked by the President Emmerson Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. That is Mutambara. You can hear him saying it. That's his words, no my words. It's his words. So what is that supposed to tell you? If we are not very careful, we are going again. Now we're not only going to move from the pot into the fire. We're definitely going to melt. That's
Robert Mugabe, in your closeness, you talk about your conversations with him, and in a way, you're actually saying this is Robert Mugabe speaking from the grave. You say in the book that he had contempt for Joyce Mujuru.
Without a doubt. Mugabe was a serious Machiavellian player. Joyce was just a place filler. Mugabe never thought of Mujuru as a successor. But of course, she thought she could be a shoe-in. But there was complete contempt. He was managing General Mujuru. So General Mujuru was a player. But he was a clever player because he didn't want a position. He wanted to be a kingmaker. So how do you pacify this man? Put the wife there. But he had no intention whatsoever to make this woman president.
Did you ever get... So go ahead.
I got the sense because of the conversations. Yeah. He was full of contempt. For example, when I laid into Ma'am Jury in one meeting in the cabinet, he laughed and said, he didn't defend it. Because read the book.
Please, for the viewers out there, I've read the book. There's lots of explosive
but
stuff.
Let me explain that.
Yeah.
She was so naive, and I call it a simpleton in my book. After Mujuru was taken out, after General was killed, the game was up for Joyce. She didn't see it. How do you have your husband eliminated by some people, and then those people...
And you are the vice president.
And then they make you president. It's impossible. Once your husband is taken out by these guys, there's no way in hell they would make you president. Because what if you seek revenge? What if your children say, our father was taken out, now you are president? So the game was up for Joyce in 2011.
And why
with the death of General Mujuru.
Still at the top of my mind, Prof, is the question, why did she not seek justice for the husband? Why did she not say the matter must be...
She was naive. She was thinking, I can still get there. Let me rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. I might still become president. So I think justice for my husband is secondary.
Yeah.
Let me wait for the prize. Naivety of the highest order.
Wow. Values. Principles.
Zero.
Values, principles.
Zero.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. You know the president of Haiti, allegedly the wife of the president of Haiti killed the husband because she wanted to be president. Did I just say them correctly? That why did Joyce Mujuru pursue, those who killed the husband? No, she didn't, because she wanted to be the president. So her being the president was more important than your sweetheart. Whew. Oh, she was focused on becoming a president than her lover, her husband, was killed. And that's what I'm saying. Honestly, after the devil, fear women. That's what people say after Satan. Today I'm going to be the devil's advocate. And after women, after devil, after Satan, you fear women, huh? When I heard about the president of Haiti, my heart was broken. But that's why when you don't just marry anybody, you must make sure you pray before you marry. You need divine direction. God has to show you your wife. People are capable of anything. In 2024, as long as there's money on the table, people can do anything. So Joyce Mujuru did not pursue the death of her husband. That's what Professor Tamtambara is saying. She was focusing on the prize. But again, because principles and values were broken, that didn't happen. Do you think that people can eliminate your husband and make you a president? Do you think that is possible? No, but the fact that they eliminate your husband means they had a mission, of course. They had a mission. They had a goal. And you think they would do it for you so you can be at the front. I told you about what happened in Haiti. That's why it's a mess in Haiti today as we speak. She got rid of her husband, but is she the president of Haiti? No. And I heard that another gangster is taken over the country. lack of wisdom, no principles, no values, unfortunately. Quite very sad to hear. Quite very sad. Wow. Explosive stuff for real, that Mutambale to put this in his book. It's sad. It is very sad what's going on. Yeah, in Zimbabwe, it's sad. It's very sad.
I was thinking, I can still get there. Let me rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. I might still become president. So I think justice for my husband is secondary. Wow. Let me wait for the prize. Wow. Naivety of the highest order.
Wow. Values, principles.
Zero.
Values, principles.
Zero.
Talk to me. Did you ever see an indication, an inclination that Mnangagwa, that Robert Mugabe would have wanted Mnangagwa to be successful?
No.
No. In fact, this tactical error that Mugabe made was that to get rid of Maimujuru, he had to align with Mnangagwa. Because Maimujuru had been vice for 10 years, she was controlling the party. And people were identifying with her, assuming that she's the successor. So Maimujuru, G40 was the party. So Mugabe could not have taken out G40 without Mnangagwa. So it was a marriage of convenience between Mugabe and Mnangagwa to take out
G40.
And then the next move was then to take out Mnangagwa, and that failed. And also he overplayed his hand. He was 90, and he was no longer as smart and tactical as he was.
Would you say, as a leader, that at that particular time, he should have been a bit meticulous about succession planning?
My view is very simple. Robert Mugabe should have left office around 2000, maybe even earlier. And then usher in a successor of his own choice. Supervise the transition, control the succession, and secure his legacy. The Nyerere way. He could have had 2-3 presidents before he died. But because Mugabe was never about legacy, and I talk about it in the book, Mugabe was a very small man intellectually. He was about the here and now. Caught up in gossip. He was not like a Mandela. There's no vision.
I must jump in there. The contrast, Prof, cannot escape you. You have Mnangagwa, incompetent, out of depth completely. Doesn't think nation, thinks tribal, thinks family. That's Mnangagwa.
Sure.
You have Robert Mugabe. He gets the big picture, but he lacks the passion to build for the country.
He doesn't get
his legacy.
He doesn't get the picture. He gets
isn't that a thesis in leadership?
No, he gets a bit of the picture. Nationalism, a bit of Pan-Africanism. But he doesn't understand the importance of legacy.
That's a good question.
That I'm going to die. I must leave a nation that will celebrate me.
Yeah.
I must ensure that there are other people who can run this country. I mean, I give 2 quotes in the book. When Robert was young, I think standard 6, he went on stage. He was asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I quote, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher if I can, close quote. Very humble. Very humble. Then I fast forward the year 2004. He's drunk on power. And I quote, I don't know anyone who could have run this country better than me, close quote. How do you move from that humility to megalomania? He should have realized that I'm a human being. I'm going to die and go. But I must secure my legacy by ensuring succession on my terms. Supervise the succession, secure my legacy, and then check out after I have seen this. And also after I've written. Can you imagine Robert Mugabe from 1951 to Ghana, to 1960 when he joined NDP, to 1980 to 2017? That is a lot of history. He was in the front seat of Zimbabwean history, front seat of African history, not even a pamphlet. A travesty of justice. So legacy is about documentation. So he should have stepped down and also written his account of Fort Hare, his account of Ghana, his account of the 10 years in jail, his account of the liberation struggle in Mozambique, and his account of 37 years of running this country. That is legacy. He did not understand that.
All right.
Prof, we'll take a break. Please don't.
The legacy. Can I say this? Someone asked a question, very good question, memory, that why is it people in ZANU-PF think they have to eliminate other people? You know? To get to the top, it's a very good question. I don't know why they don't understand what legacy is about. Legacy has nothing to do with belong to a party. It is everything to do with impact. And impact, you don't have to fall under a certain party in order for you to change lives. It is so sad, the culture they built. That's why, and I feel like there's a lot of ignorance among themselves. Most of them are extremely ignorant. It doesn't make sense to me that you have to kill someone in order for you to be at the front. But at the end of the day, you will die at nobody because you can't stay in the front. You have nothing to offer at the front. I'm seeing people who are just jumping, you're a minister. You know nothing. Isn't it wise to say, yo, you gave me this position. Honestly, I really can't do it. Please try someone else. I wouldn't mind to be maybe a deputy and learn. But you see a person just moving around. You have no clue of what you're doing. Simply embarrassing yourself. I don't understand this party. Honestly, I don't understand them. You can't have a party that is always, I mean, look at the country where it's going right now. I mean, the entire world is watching you. I mean, you die with you can't even receive respect from the people in your nation. It's sad, man. It is sad to watch. Sometimes I'm asking, what about the youngs? And they give advice to the elders and say, yo, this is not right. We can do better. Chamisa is not your enemy. Kasukara is not your enemy. We are one people. We are family. How can we make this country a better country for all? But no, they don't see life that way. It's always about me, me, me. It is really sad. Sometimes you can't do the work anymore. Give other people a chance. Go home and rest. Go and take care of your children. Relax at home. It's okay to relax and rest. It's not a crime. I always ask myself, you have got the money that you wanted. You've got everything, houses, money, use. What else do you want? It's really sad, honestly. They are right, like your legacy. Every time I think, when I think about Mugabe, honestly, guys, because you're talking about Mugabe, I really think about him. Like, honestly, I don't care. If I hear about Mugabe, I'm like, who's that? What did I benefit? I didn't benefit nothing from this man, honestly. And I'm telling the truth. Absolutely nothing. Except the pain. Nothing. Majority of people have nothing good to say. You really can't be a person where people have nothing good to say about you. Because you've caused them pain. Zimbabwe has been known generation after generation, pain after pain after pain. We thought our brothers are in, they also have an interest for protecting us, whatever the case may be. No, it's my kids. It's my children. It's my family. It's sad. And actually, it's really sad, honestly. It's sad. And I don't know why people can just speak the truth and say, can't you see what you're doing this is not okay. You can do it differently. Legacy is so important. If Mugabe could have spent time with his boys today there'll be business, people doing incredible, but what do? You always hear scandal after scandal. You say that they are fighting with women. You always hear the worst. Why? The father was just after power. Sad. With all respect, it is sad. And it is really sad. Like us young people, we understand what legacy is about. We understand what legacy is. So I've got this Bible here that they bought me when I turned 30. You know, I'm 41 now. When I turned 30. This Bible is the biggest Bible in my house. And this Bible is a family Bible. So the purpose of this Bible is to give it to my first child, okay, as a legacy. So my first child would tell my grandchildren, grandmama was like this, I'm going to be a granny, right? Don't worry, I'm going to be a granny one day. Grandfather, mama was like this. For those who have seen this Bible, It's got details for where you're going to marry. You're going to put details of your husband, his family tree, your children, your grandchildren. And I said, I'm going to give to my first child knowing that in this house, I and my house, we shall serve the Lord. You can't do nothing without God in this house. And I'm going to make it very clear to my first child. The first day, if I'm going to go on my way to deliver my child, when I'm on my way to deliver my child, I'll go with my Bible. And I'll be the first person to speak. I'm not going to wait for nobody to say a word. I will be the mama to speak and say, my child, welcome to the world. But this world here, you can't make it without God. You need God. And I'll make sure I write everything in black and white. Make sure I have direction of where your children should go. What we sing in the country said, kids are just looting. Looting. They don't know the principles that you must give. You must protect. You must love. You must share. It's just collecting. Until when are you going to collect? That's not legacy. It's a curse. It's sad to watch. Your grandchildren, some of them are going to pay heavily for the sins of their fathers and the sins of their grandchildren. That is very real, y'all. And because I don't know, pastors in Zimbabwe, what are they preaching? It's those that are circulating the president and the leaders. What are you talking about? If you can tell them the truth, to say, hey, y'all, this is not right. This is how you must do things. No one is your enemy. We are one people. We are family. We are a nation. Let's build each other. It's our legacy. No, it's about collecting. Everyone is just collecting. Until when? When are you going to get tired of collecting? How many plates are you eating for food per day? Sickening. Sickening. It is sad. Wasted legacy, honestly, because of greedy and power. Sad. Honestly, very sad. That how many times was Mr. Mugabe were falling? Do you remember when he was falling, when he was going for meetings? I wouldn't want to see my daddy, falling and be the whole world laughing at him because he just want to be at the front. And I'm going to say, Daddy, no. Give other people a chance. Go home and relax. Go home and relax. Give other people a chance. Majority of people in parliament owns farms. Yeah. In ZANU-PF owns farms. It's a fact. They own farms. Majority of those old people are sleeping in parliament. Go home. Go to the farm. Grow your stuff and do your things. You are doing absolutely nothing. You're complaining we are being paid peanuts. So what are you doing there? Because you're there to loot. Go home. Play with your grandchildren. Give other people a chance, young people a chance to come in and do some things. It's wrong. Something has to tell them. If they can't hear, if you are not telling you the truth, we're going to have to tell you. What you're doing is embarrassing. You know, Zuma was, Nkosazana Zuma, she resigned from politics. Said, no, I've done my part, guys. Have you ever heard a Zimbabwean who heard that he resigned from politics? They want to die there. Excuse me? Something is wrong with our mentality. Honestly, something is very wrong. Others may argue and say, no, but because there are no jobs. But that's why you were supposed to make sure that you don't loot stuff. This is one of the reasons why we always say, let's build a nation that is good for everybody. So at least you can have retirement in UNT, you can have insurances, you can have anything that you need. But you were busy looting. How can we build a country when you're looting stuff? Even today, we're still saying, guys, stop looting resources. Let's build a nation for everybody. You don't want. But then you start complaining. I remember Memu Juru saying that she regrets. She said, I'm regretting for actually rigging election for Sidin Sekramai. That was Memu Juru saying that as we did it. That time it was against opposition. He had lost 15,000 against about 700 or so, 900 if I'm not mistaken. And we rigged the election for Sidin Sekramai that he could be the leader there, the member of parliament. But he said, I'm regretting for doing that because I'm seeing my children have nothing and I have nothing. You see? But we are telling you every time, stop what you're doing. Let's fix this country for everybody. Let's do it right. Young people keep on telling you, remove your politics. Let's build a Zimbabwe that will benefit everyone. A Zimbabwe that we're all going to enjoy. And really have a great, incredible retirement. Most of you should be at a retirement space there. Old age home. And rest like other countries and just enjoy your money. And begin to speak to your grandchildren. Drafting wills. But you're just stuck in parliament roaming around like you're crazy. It's sad. But I pray I pray, and I know that we are very close to the finishing line. Maybe they're going to learn to this generation when they change things in the country. Look, we're telling you, you are really, really wasting time. Other people are resigning to be in parliament. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what our life is about. There are seasons in life. It's your season to go home and play with your grandchildren. And it doesn't mean that you're bad people. You're not bad people. It's just that season. Chance. That's wrong. It is wrong. And again, this deception thing, and I don't know how people are sleeping at night. That life must be very difficult. Imagine every day, please, you can do better by simply say, I've done my part, and guys, thank you. That's why Temba was like, Machakaere, stop pushing the agenda of a third term. Don't do it. I feel like young people zungu too much. Zungu. Like, Machakaere is young. Is young. And Temba Mliso was right to say, you are young. You can't push an agenda of the third term. Let the president rest. You must focus on, let's find work together to build a Zimbabwe that we all need. And it doesn't mean that he's hating you. No, he's not hating on you. He's simply telling the truth. He has served, the president has served, since he was a minister. I don't know, he has served for decades in ZANU-PF. Let him rest. Don't push the term. What term are you talking about? That was Temba Mliso. Those were not my words. The information is there on public domain. It's time, honestly, for us to come together and do right. Sometimes it was really right, man. It's not, you don't have to be just doing the right thing. For the sake of Zimbabwe, not for you or your benefit, for the sake of Zimbabwe. As a matter of fact, most of these people have been collecting a lot over the years. Surely you have some monies to go home and rest. You've got things that you've been collecting that can actually, take you to your grave. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, you have been collecting. Give other people a chance. That's the Zimbabwe that we all want, that we all wanted. Everybody that we are praying for and that we believe in. I love you so much. May God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. Don't forget to buy the book in Search of a Zimbabwean Dream. Incredible book. A lot of hot stuff that were dropped by Mtambara. It will bless your heart. For those, I'm also going to leave a link in the description box so you guys can go in and watch the entire interview that he did with Mtambara. Incredible interview. Can bless your soul. And I love you so much. So guys, you must sleep tight. For those that are actually waking up, have a great one. Until then, I'll see you later, and I love you, and bye for now. What does he say?